Lost your car title in Louisiana? Without it, you might feel completely stuck, unable to sell, register, or even prove ownership of your vehicle. But don't panic. Stay tuned to this explainer, and you'll discover a surefire way to regain control and get that vital document back in your hands.
We have all been there, right? Shuffling frantically through old file cabinets, tearing apart the glove box, and finally realizing that your most important piece of automotive paperwork has just vanished. It's stressful, for sure, but by the end of our time together today, you're going to know exactly how to handle this bureaucratic headache. Picture this. You've found the absolute perfect buyer for your car. They've got the cash in hand, you've shaken on the deal, and then you realize the pink slip is missing. That realization instantly stalls the wholesale. It literally leaves you paralyzed because under Louisiana law, a handshake deal without a notarized title transfer means absolutely nothing.
So to get this sorted out, here is our agenda for today. First, the missing car title itself, then our step-by-step replacement guide, followed by common hurdles and FAQs, and finally, a conclusion with some final tips.
Okay, Section 1, the missing car title. Let's establish exactly why the state of Louisiana treats this single piece of paper like it's locked in Fort Knox. Because Louisiana operates under a civil law system, your physical title is highly protected to prevent administrative crimes, things like title washing or fraudulent lien recordation. Look, unlike your basic vehicle registration that you can easily duplicate online for, $12, there's absolutely no simple print-at-home option for a Louisiana car title. The state forces you to verify your identity to protect your most valuable assets.
Moving right along to Section 2, our step-by-step replacement guide.
Now that we understand the incredibly high stakes involved here, let's break down the chronological roadmap. It's absolutely crucial that you follow these 5 exact steps: preparation, application, fees, submission, and receiving. Honestly, skipping a step or doing them out of order is the #1 reason people end up waiting months instead of days for their replacement.
So step 1 is gathering your arsenal of documents. Having your 17-digit VIN, a valid government ID, and proof of registration ready will save you major headaches down the road. Oh, and take note of that odometer reading because you absolutely must have it. Now, if you can't find your current registration, you have to include a written explanatory note telling them why it's missing. If you don't, the Office of Motor Vehicles, or OMV, will likely just reject your entire packet.
For Step 2, the application process, you're going to need to fill out a very specific document called Form DPS MV799. Make sure you check the box for lost, mutilated, or never received. But here is the single most important part of this entire explainer. Listen closely. Your signature must be executed in front of a notary public or directly in front of an OMV clerk. Do not sign this form sitting alone at your kitchen table. If it isn't notarized or witnessed by a state-authorized official, it goes straight into the rejection pile. No exceptions.
Okay, step 3 involves the fee structure. As you can see, the absolute minimum cost here is $76.50. That is the $68.50 base rate plus a mandatory $8 administrative handling fee. But keep in mind, optional expedited fees, local parish surcharges, or using third-party convenience agents can bump that total up a bit. Just make sure you know exactly which path you're taking before you write that check.
Which brings us to step 4, your submission. You actually have 3 distinct choices here. You've got the inexpensive but pretty slow mail route to a P.O. box in Baton Rouge. You've got the in-person OMV visit, which usually requires booking an appointment way ahead of time. Or you can utilize a licensed public tag agent or PTA to handle all that heavy bureaucratic lifting for you. Companies like JG Title Company or Title Authority act as private intermediaries with direct access to the state's system.
And step 5 is the waiting game. Now, to put these timelines into perspective, paying an extra $10 expedited fee at a PTA can literally get your title in your hands the very next business day. If you go directly to the OMV, you're looking at a 7 to 10-day wait. But standard mail? Well, that can leave you waiting anywhere from 4 to 12 long weeks while the Postal Service and state clerks clear out their backlog.
All right, Section 3, common hurdles and FAQs. Let's tackle some of those edge cases that commonly trip people up.
First up, what if there's an active lien on the vehicle? Look, if your car was financed and you recently paid it off, you must provide a notarized lien release or a satisfaction document from your lender. Without this piece of paper, the state simply will not issue you a clear duplicate title. Why? Because their computer system still thinks the bank has a financial interest in your car.
Here is another massive hurdle. What if the vehicle owner has passed away?
Handling an inherited car is a whole different ballgame. You can't just request a duplicate title in a deceased person's name unless the paperwork was already notarized prior to their death. Otherwise, you're going to need a copy of the death certificate, a copy of the will, and potentially an affidavit of heirship, which the state calls Form DPS MV 1696. So, when you're comparing your two primary paths, the OMV versus a PTA, it really boils down to this. Do you want to save a little cash by fighting the state bureaucracy yourself, or spend a little extra for a totally stress-free turnaround? A public tag agent will charge you a convenience fee of up to $23, but they check your Form 1799 for errors, they notarize it right on the spot, and they offer that next-day printing. It's a classic trade-off between your time and your wallet. Now, you might be wondering, can I replace an out-of-state title in Louisiana? The short answer is no way. If your vehicle was last titled outside of Louisiana, you actually have to apply for the duplicate through that original issuing state. And remember, when you finally bring that out-of-state replacement title back to the Louisiana OMV to transfer it, they might require a physical VIN inspection to verify the car's history before handing over a Louisiana pink slip.
Let's move on to Section 4, Conclusion and Final Tips.
Let's do a super quick recap. Armed with these 5 streamlined steps, you can successfully navigate this whole process without the unnecessary stress. Just gather your documents, execute that Form 1799 in front of a notary, prepare your fees, pick your submission route, and wait. It is a highly structured process for sure, but it is completely manageable when you know the rules of the game. Before you run off to file your paperwork, please keep in mind this evergreen reminder. State bureaucracies constantly update their rules, they adjust their fees, and they change their policies. Always double-check the official OMV website at expresslane.la.gov before you mail anything in or head down to an office. Being proactive is the absolute best way to avoid getting a frustrating rejection letter in the mail.
So, are you ready to regain control of your vehicle ownership? What part of this whole title replacement process has you feeling stuck right now? Are you fighting with an out-of-state transfer, or maybe trying to track down a lien release from a bank that doesn't even exist anymore? Drop a comment below. I would genuinely love to hear about it and help out if I can. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more deeply researched automotive explainers just like this one. Until next time, stay focused and keep learning.